job really neat here at Vancouver General Hospital is the variety. So we see young people, we see elderly people, might go from seeing a patient who's suffering from a stroke and then move on and see somebody with a rolled ankle. They never really know what's coming in next.
Lower it down a bit, nice and loud. The people that I work with are fantastic. They're a big part of the reason why I enjoy working here so much.
Look at me, eyes. Calm down. It takes a special kind of person to work full-time at Emerge for sure. You have to think on your feet and problem solve, and you don't mind it when things get super wacky and you don't sit down for 12 hours straight.
Open your eyes. This is your last chance before we put a breathing tube.
Well, one of the lessons you learn in the emergency department is how unpredictable life is. It can truly turn and change dramatically on a dime and in an instant. We witness people whose life can turn completely upside down at a moment's notice, and we get to be there for them.
The young gentleman that has something called atrial fibrillation, where the heart is beating irregularly.
This morning, as I woke up, and it's as if I ran like a marathon, so my heart was just going off. So usually our heartbeats by boom, 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 boom. Right now, apparently it goes boom, 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 boom.
You typically don't want people to remain in this irregular heart rhythm for a prolonged period of time, so we're going to use electricity to change his heart rhythm from this irregular back into a normal rhythm.
Those are the pads that'll give you the little shock, right?
They knocked me out and shot my heart back to normal.
For the same finger.
Okay.
It's a pretty scary concept. And what the risk factors are, what could go wrong. We could give them entirely way too much medication and completely put you to sleep to the point of view that you stop breathing. Then there's a whole bunch of risks associated with that.
You've had this done before? Okay. So we're going to give you some sedation soon, okay?
He seems actually quite blasé about it, more so than I would be. Okay, so we're going to sleep. Okay. Might sting in the arm a little bit.
How are you feeling there?
How are you doing, Jonathan? Okay, let's try.
Everyone clear?
Maybe a little bit too much sleep medication. We had to yell at him a few times to remind him to breathe, which he did.
Jonathan. Hold on. Hold on. 8 minutes?
And the patient can go home half an hour later after the procedures.
So your heart, does it feel any different now?
Actually, it's much better. Doesn't feel that stress like after you did your long runner or like after your heart run stress.
He's a little young to have this atrial fibrillation. He's got to follow up with a neurologist to try and figure out why exactly he had these symptoms.
I would buy out back in Rome, I guess.
thank you.
The sense of humor in the ER, I think, is essential. We make a joke that we're essentially preventing Darwinism, but there's some element of truth to that. It's hard to say the dumbest thing. I've seen a lot of people out there that aren't very bright.
She was on some monkey bars at a playground. Flip backwards.
The emergency department attracts a lot of people that are doing, for whatever reason, very silly things.
Flip backwards. Lost your grip. Fell back. Banged her arm.
And then Chris now rolled back. She needs her back to the back.
I think I just snapped my arm. Although that's not very
What are you doing climbing monkey bars at midnight on a Friday night? You know, initially, you never know what you're going to get when the patient rolls through the door. She obviously had an arm injury, but we're looking for the life-threatening things, injuries that may not be that obvious. So the lungs, the heart, the abdomen, the C-spine or neck. And one more time, big breath in and hold it. So we're looking at your internal organs, just make sure there's no bleeding in there. Our job is really to run through our protocol and just make sure that we're ruling those things out and making sure she's stable. So at the end, we're left with injuries that are more manageable. Now move your hand back and forth. Can you move your wrist back and forth? Okay, sorry about that. Okay there?
Yeah, I'm good.
And we've done ultrasounds, x-rays. Nothing else we can identify, so we're pretty confident that there's no life-threatening injuries. She's going to have to have an operation to fix her arm, to repair this and wash it out and make sure it doesn't get infected.
My brother just broke his arm too.
All an accident too, is this a family thing? They recognize they've done something incorrect. You doing all right? Having the ability to laugh and say, you're going to be okay. And that goes a long way to reassuring them and making them feel better. Plus, you got to have fun at work.
Okay, this is a great series of ER videos. It's called Vancouver General Hospital, and there's a whole bunch of them, and there are tons of things. I mostly want to show you, obviously this is a trauma center, so that's kind of, in a trauma center, it's all crazy busy like that. Any ER is that. We could see any of that at Sequoia and have. So you go from something very traumatic that walks through the door, or that's life-threatening or dying, or you go out to somebody running in from the car saying, my mom's dead in the car. You go out there and you're trying to do CPR on somebody in a car, basically because it's impossible to get, it's hard to get them in, and of course they keep telling us we have to worry about body mechanics, but there's no way you can worry about body mechanics when you're pulling somebody out of the car. But the point of this is too, I mean, you saw the guy with atrial fib. His rhythm was normal, and then it went way too fast. A lot of times you would just give medication like Dig, and the patient would be on that for a while and convert or slow down. You're not necessarily going to change that atrial fib. But in his case, it was too rapid and he was having other symptoms. So they shocked him. So that is a real scenario, even at in ERs all over, and they go home, which is amazing to me. They get shocked, and then once the sedation wears off, they go home because their heart rate is back to normal. Then you also see the person throwing up in the bucket in the waiting room because they have nausea and vomiting, right? You see the broken leg. I didn't show it, but a girl that was just mountain climbing and had a broken leg. So it's just a broad spectrum of everything you see. So what I'm going to do, just actually, what I'm going to do now is go over a bunch of facts about the ER that people don't know what happens, not just patient care in the ER, but how the system works with everybody else's system. So if you have questions, just raise your hand and stop me, okay? Oh, I need to introduce myself. Where's my camera girl? Hi. Hi, San Francisco State Main Campus. I'm Sheri Sassarini, and I'm a coordinator here for the Kenyatta group, but a clinical instructor as well. ER nurse for 37 years and ER director at Sequoia Hospital for 10 years, and quit that 3 months ago, and I still miss it. I still, when I see there was a fire truck out there, and I'm just ready to go out there and help. So, and I'll talk about that at the end. Once an ER nurse, always an ER nurse. Just like once an ICU nurse, always an ICU nurse. And I'll go into, you know, what it's like to be an ER nurse. But so Sheri, let me.
I was just gonna say I saw that atrial fibrillation procedure at Sequoia. It's cardioversion, right?
Yeah.
And I was gonna compliment them. They fold up a towel a bunch of times and hold the person's chest down when they receive the shock, which I think is kind of nice. It seemed like I actually saw two, and both patients had concerns about how they would look to the people in the room when they were shocked and flailing, and that seemed to be like they were a little embarrassed about it. So I thought it was nice.
It is, and in that case, it's more in that setting. You were in the procedure room, I think, right? Yeah, that's a more controlled environment. And I mean, it seems like a simple thing to do, but honestly, it happens so quickly, and that patient is out. And then immediately, you know what I'm saying? So, but I haven't seen that procedure. This is not a brand new video. I think it's like 4 or 5 years old. So, but yeah, to me, it's constantly amazing how quickly you can re-snap the heart. You can really, you know, do it. And again, it's like 50 joules. It's not, you know, it's not like when you're defibrillating somebody at 360 or whatever. It's a really small amount, but it's enough to electrically kickstart the heart again.
Did you guys notice a funky O2 camera?
Yeah.
Did you wonder, you know what that is, right?
Yeah.
It's a CO2, right. So you're monitoring CO2 at the same time as your oxygen saturation. That is the expired CO2 that's being captured there.
Yeah, so they use it when you have to watch. It's not just like a cannula, it's different. You guys know, because remember, we didn't know what it was.
I was just going to ask you to repeat what she had said in the back so that they can hear.
Oh, she was just talking about how in the procedure room at Sequoia, she saw this same procedure with the cardioversion, and they put towels, you said, over the chest, so the patient...
And they hold the patient down really hard while they do the shock.
Yeah, so he doesn't flail like you did in this picture. But again, it's a very private environment. You don't, not everybody's watching you do this or watching. It's just you and the doctor and respiratory therapist and the nurse, sometimes 2 nurses, because one is watching the monitor, one is taking care of the patient, giving drugs or whatever. So, okay, I am going to go now.
See if I can get your power.
Oh, on that? Sure.
I gotta go to my email. Don't forget my email.
Did you guys get the PowerPoint? Do you have it?
Yeah.
You did? Oh, you did?
It's in Island, right? Emergency one? It's in Island, right?
Yeah, it's in Ireland.
There's only
When did you put mine in? Where are you?
It's here.
Oh,
This is Island?
I sent it to you 3 days ago.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, let me.
That's okay, but we can, that way you guys can, you know how you do, type, as I talk, you can type in.
I'm gonna send it right now, so if you have a laptop, you can connect and